What is up, my friend? Welcome to episode 85 of the Anthony Genomics podcast. And today I want to talk about the power of small changes. Over the past 10 weeks, I've been on a journey to sculpt my body, and with just everything that I have going on during this season, which is a lot of things, I knew the traditional paths were not something I was willing to commit to because it wasn't going to be sustainable. So I went all in on a different path, and I learned a huge lesson to creating substantial amounts of transformation. And in this episode, I want to share that advice with you. So if you're one of those people who are fully committed to living your best life and embodying your potential, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Anthony John Amix podcast, the one and only podcast designed to help you become unstoppable in life and business. My name is Anthony John Amix. My friends call me AJ, and my goal with this podcast is to help you remember who you truly are so you can maintain your center in the chaos, embody your potential, and unlock freedom in your life and business. That being said, let's get into today's show.
All right, welcome back. Now, before I hop into today's show, if you like the stuff we talk about on here, then make sure you're part of the Facebook community I run called Shift 101. There's a ton of training around things like online marketing and sales and ways to create massive breakthroughs in your life and your business, especially if you're running some type of personal brand. And honestly, the content that is posted within that community, it's better than a lot of what people are like make you pay for. And I know it's easy for me to say that because I've created the content, yet I promise you it's ridiculously good content. I mean, so much of that information inside that community that's available for free when you join. When you execute on some of the messaging stuff, the marketing stuff, the sales stuff, like it can totally add 6 figures to your life, your business as a personal brand. So make sure you head on over to ajamix.com/community to join. It's 100% free and just full of amazing, wonderful people every single week. It's growing. Lots of wonderful leaders who are really committed to creating their best lives. So again, just head on over to ajamix.com/community and hit that little request to join button. So with that being said, let's talk about the power of small changes. Like I said at the beginning of this, over the past 10 weeks, I have been participating in a fitness challenge with a few friends of mine. My good friend Jonathan Heston, he recently introduced me to the X3 bar, which is this exercise training device that uses like heavy duty elastic bands and a 23.5-inch long inch steel bar. And this thing allows you to perform a variety of key lifts that you do at the gym. Just you don't need access to all the machines or the free weights. It's real small, real simple. And the really cool thing about the system is you can complete the workout in about 12 minutes, give or take, which sounds absolutely crazy. Well, I bought the thing and I've been using it consistently for 10 weeks now. And I'll tell you, for the first time in my life, I am 2 weeks away from completing my very first 12-week program inside the game of fitness. And after the 12 weeks are over, I know now X3 is just going to be a part of my lifestyle. Like, it's just too simple not to do it. It has given me zero excuses to like not be able to get my workout in. And my body is leaning down, my body's toning up, my body weight seems to be hanging around strong, about 166.5 pounds. My body fat percentage, it just keeps slowly dropping month after month, and it's being replaced with steady muscle growth. So what does this have to do with the power of small changes, and how is it going to help you live your best life? Because I assure you this is not some ad for X3. So this is a great question. Here's the thing. I used to think in order to create big-ass results in my life, I needed to do and fully commit to doing big-ass changes in my life. Like, I thought in order to get my body into the level of fitness and power that I knew it was designed for and that my body was hungry for, then I thought, then I have to go lift heavy weights for an hour or for 90 minutes or so at the gym. I've done that before. And not only that, I must count my macros and count every calorie I eat. Done that before. And in the past, I've tried that path, and I was really excited about it. Yet I always found myself burning out after about 8 weeks into that type of methodology. And I tried multiple paths to get to my goal over the years. And my goal has been having the body of like Brad Pitt in the movie Fight Club. Like, it's not like, it's just something I want to experience. That's what I want to experience. That's what feels good to me right now. It's a desire I have. Yet regardless of what path I've tried in the past, when I've tried to make a big change in my body, it just seems like I would burn out after about 8 weeks. Now, this time when I was invited into this fitness challenge to my friends, I personally refused to do anything big. Sounds crazy. Now, many of them had created some like really big targets that required a lot of to-dos. Like they were not only committing to follow the X3 system, but they were also committing to eat a very strict carnivore diet, which means they just eat meat. Plus, they were all going to do like 48-hour fast once a week. And some of the guys were even doing a 48-hour fast, having a very small eating window, 48-hour fast. And that was like the thing that they wanted to commit to. And the old me would have thought that I had to join them. I mean, after all, if we want to experience big changes, big transformation in our lives, then we must be up to big things, right? Wrong. There has been so much power to focusing on small changes. Now, let me explain. While everyone else in my fitness group had these big commitments to uphold, all I chose to do was, number one, commit to follow the X3 system to a T. Now, this meant for the first 4 weeks, I would complete the workout, which again is about 12 minutes a day, for Monday and Tuesday, rest on Wednesday, and then work out again Thursday and Friday, and then rest over the weekend. So that was the first 4 weeks. And then after the first 4 weeks, for the rest of my time, I would move to working out 6 times a week. So for me, Monday through Saturday, and I'd rest on Sundays. And again, the workout only takes about 12 minutes, give or take, to complete. Not that big of a deal. And then on top of the movement portion of this challenge, for my nutrition aspect, I committed to simply keep going with intermittent fasting. I've been doing that for nearly 2 years now. So this meant I only would eat between 12 and 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. each day. Very normal for me. My body's very used to that. And I also chose to just stay eating a ketogenic diet, which I had started back in like August or something of that nature. And it wasn't because I was dieting. Rather, I was just choosing to eat food based upon a ketogenic diet because I love eating a ketogenic diet. Like I just feel better in my body, right? I like the foods. I like the fat. I like the protein. I like the vegetables that I get to eat. It's very sustainable for me. Now, I'm not a keto master. Like I didn't track my macros every day. I chose not to. Instead, I just chose to eat a lot of good fat, a lot of good protein, get my greens from like broccoli and asparagus and spinach and things of that nature, and just keep my carb count to under 20 grams a day. And then one day every 3 weeks, so one day every 21 days, I would give myself permission to have a reset day where I just eat whatever I want, from Krispy Kreme donuts to, Italian food, Mexican food, whatever I wanted to eat that day. I just gave myself permission to completely reset my system. And then, boom, I would be right back on my ketogenic diet. And that was my 12-week plan. My 12-week plan was to get to 10% body fat. I didn't care about my body weight. I just knew that it was going to naturally land somewhere between 165, 170 pounds. And honestly, during this time, I even stopped caring about my body fat percentage goal. And I have just chose to focus on doing the work. Being like, did I complete X3 today? Yes or no? Did I not eat until 12 p.m.? Yes or no? Did I eat enough good fat? Did I keep my carb count below 20 grams today? That's it. I just chose to focus on doing that. And I'll tell you, my body is leaning down. My body's toning up nicely, and it feels good to not have a whole bunch of things to do today or each day to hit my own self-imposed fitness targets. And the really cool thing is, since this is so simple, it's really allowed me to fully commit to it. And since getting it done each and every day for the past 10 weeks, it's just become like a habitual way of living. So for instance, last Saturday was my reset day, which meant I could go eat whatever I desired. And when I woke up last Saturday, I didn't even really want to eat anything that wasn't keto. Like I didn't have any cravings or anything like that. It's just like my mind and body have been rewired over the past 10 weeks to just now be like, boom, we're eating some keto. We're going to do some intermittent fasting. Like it's just a habitual way of being for me now. It's kind of weird. And I know in the past when I've tried to make big changes by doing big things, I never really felt like all of those things that I had to do became like a small upgrade to how I habitually live. I believe it was F. Matthias Alexander, who's an Australian guy who created a process to help people overcome habitual limitations. I believe he was the guy who said, people do not decide their futures. They decide their habits, and their habits decide their futures. Now, I've personally found there is a lot of truth in this statement, and if you really want to step in fully into your power and purpose and unlock more profits and possibilities inside your life, inside your business, then you must understand this. In fact, it's vital, and here's why. Oftentimes, high producers want to push the envelope to their potential by doing a whole lot of things. And for most people, they do this because they experience a false sense of significance when attempting to do big things. And like I've already mentioned, doing big things for a brief period of time may feel good in the short term, but it's not usually sustainable long term. So what's the solution here? Well, it's pretty simple. Slow down and slowly add on habits that move the needle for you to be the person that you desire to become. Now, this is easy to say, and it's a whole other thing to fully commit to. So let me give you an example. 8 weeks into this fitness challenge of mine, I've already told you it's pretty darn simple, but 8 weeks into this fitness challenge, I found my mind trying to convince me that I wasn't doing enough. Like my mind was telling me things like I wasn't working out long enough, that I surely needed to count my macros and do all of the work of meal prepping, and like, let's just make it more complicated. But the reality is I was getting results. Like I'd look in the mirror and I'm like, man, my body is looking different. My wife can tell you, your body's looking different, right? I was getting results and I just needed to stay the course. Now it's funny how the ego works, man. Like it does so many things to attempt to keep us playing small. So if you want to transform your life, my advice to you is to find a way to make a change to how you're habitually living. Like ask yourself the question, what habits would the me have as the person who is living the life I desire? What habits would the me, right? This is you asking this question. What habits would the me have as the person who is living the life I desire? It's a very powerful question. Like when I try that question on, I know the future version of me is eating good quality foods, nutritious foods, works out 5 to 6 times a week, reads daily, meditates daily, does breath work, coaches his ass off, and creates content. And then once I'm clear on that, then the question is like, cool, when am I habitually living like that? And if the answer is no, then it's like, okay, well, how can I start adding in the new habits into my life, right? For years, I had my reading, my meditating, my content creation, and coaching like dialed in. And this year, I got to up-level my habitual way of relating to my food and my body. And I found there's a massive power in small changes. So my invitation to you this day is this. What is one small change that you can make inside your life that will move the needle when it comes to you fulfilling your dreams and your desires? What is one small change that can become a habitual way of being and doing that brings your future into the now? See, habits truly are the thing that collapse the amount of time between who you are now and that which you desire be. So choose your habits wisely because your future literally depends on it. Well, my friend, that's going to do it for this episode of the Anthony John Mix podcast. I hope this episode inspired you to make some small changes that up to big change inside your life and business. And if it did, I'd love to hear about it. Simply take a screenshot of you listening to this podcast on your device, upload it over to your Instagram stories, and then tag me at AJAMYX, AJAMYX over on Instagram. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. I know you could be listening to 100 million other things right now, yet you choose this podcast. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you and hope you're having an amazing morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is when you're listening to the show. Until next time, my friend, I'm out. Peace.
Well, that's all I've got for this episode of the Anthony John Mix podcast, but we have plenty more to help you become unstoppable in life and business. So head on over to ajamix.com for exclusive resources, information, and tools to help you break through to a new level of freedom, purpose, and success. I look forward to having you back for the next episode. Bye for now.